sky is starting to fall on high-frequency traders. For the so-called flash boys called out by Michael Lewis, the worst could be yet to come. New York Attorney General, we were just talking about it, Eric Schneiderman, throwing down subpoenas to 6 trading firms, demanding answers about their relationships with financial exchanges. Here with the latest, of course, Charlie Gasparino, along with the Wall Street Journal's Veronica Dagher and NewOak's James Frischling. Veronica, what's your reaction to this?
Well, you know what? I think that you're talking about piling on. We're hearing a lot of, we've got the FBI looking into this. We're hearing a lot of people looking into the high-frequency trading, especially Michael Lewis's book. This has really brought this into the mind of the populace.
Does it amount to anything, though?
We'll see. It's
the book was so. The book was. I'm telling you, I read the book. The book is one of the thinnest investigative books I've ever read.
This is what Schneiderman says. High-frequency traders can't do this alone. Firms can engage in latency arbitrage because exchanges sell them special services that allow them to get a sneak peek at market prices. Seems to me he should be going after the exchanges if that's what he believes, and that's what he's building.
Yeah, I mean, the book aside, I think this is not news, what's going on in these markets to a lot of folks.
No, it's not, but what happens from here? Let's talk about the news right now. I mean, what happens from here?
Watch some flows change. Watch mid-sized firms start doing better. Watch big mutual funds start going to their boards or have to defend to their boards who's getting their flows. And watch a little opportunistic, I guess, shift in the markets right now in terms of who's going to take advantage of it.
I really believe nothing will come out of this positive. They are not...
Nothing positive,
Nothing positive. They are not attacking the real problem. The real problem is not high-frequency traders, some of whom may or may not at times front run based on an algorithm. The real problem is that you have 50 markets, and Eric Schneiderman has no clue. I will point out one other thing. Bill Ackman has been behind this push to go after high-frequency trading as well. Guess what? Again, the Ackman-Schneiderman connection. Ackman has given a lot of money to Schneiderman. I'm just very dubious. If the SEC came out tomorrow and said, listen, we are going to study fragmentation. We're going to study the fact that when you trade a stock, it could go to 50 different markets, and we're going to try to look at that. They have not done that. They're like, this is a joke. High-frequency trading is a pimple.
All of you guys stay with us. We're going to head to the markets. China's answer to Twitter having a big debut at the NASDAQ. Jolene Kent is all over this one for us. Joe.
Melissa, this is China's answer to Twitter, and it's up nicely, up about 33% right now, and it's growing. But this company did post a net loss last year. It's got about 144 million monthly active users who are actively being censored on a lot of controversial topics, especially on politics and the economy. So this has actually led to a drop-off in user growth, with a lot of users fleeing to Tencent's WeChat, which is a little bit more like WhatsApp. So much of Weibo's success so far has to do with the fact that Twitter was actually blocked in China. Weibo launched back in 2009. It was just around the time Twitter was going mainstream. Now, looking at the numbers, on Monday, Weibo said first quarter 2014 revenue grew 161% from a year ago, so good news on that front. And their IPO coming during a month-long pullback in stock prices, both for Chinese tech companies and U.S. internet stocks. Twitter shares, you can see, have fallen about 18% since its high in March. So overall, NASDAQ down 6.5% from all-time highs, but Weibo looking like it's a bellwether, Melissa, for other tech companies like Alibaba.
Okay, Joe, thanks so much. And guys, I don't know if you can put the chart back up of how it's done today. What is your reaction to this? Because they didn't put out as many shares as they had wanted to, but at the same time, I mean, it's up 33% on the day so far. It's only been trading a few hours. What does this mean for the IPO market, if anything? James, what do you think?
I mean, I think the company was facing two headwinds. One was a pullback in technology. A lot of the high beta names that the hedge funds had loaded up on were being put out into the market, and therefore I think just a pullback in technology in general. The second thing is they lost a significant amount of their post when China came out with tighter controls. So imagine if the U.S. government said we're going to actually send people to jail that send out falsities over Twitter. Imagine what would happen to a Twitter stock. I actually think they have the China censorship headwind that they're dealing with, although their stock is doing very well today.
Deidre Bolton had Tim Draper on earlier, and he was saying that he thinks that this pullback is all about people having to pay their taxes and nothing else. Do either of you guys buy that?
Who's Jim
pullback
Draper?
In the market? He's a very famous venture investor.
A lot of people had to pay a lot of taxes in 2013.
Don't they have to pay all the time? Markets
I mean, that was my thought. Was people have to pay their taxes every year, so I don't know. We don't see this.
Especially rough year.
Mr. Draper might be talking his own book.
Possibly, but I think that was right out there. What do you think of this trade in WEIBO today?
I think the reduction in shares from the IPO speaks to the fact that maybe investors don't have so much tolerance for companies that don't yet have a profit. You know, they want to see the proof in the pudding before they actually invest in this IPO. In terms of the share price of this today, it could be just your average investor.
Last word to Charlie, as always.
I think Mr. Draper's wrong. Look.
Yeah.
No. People paid their taxes already. That's what happened here.
Yeah. People paid their taxes
feel
already.
happy.
Thank you. Thanks for that wisdom, Mr. Draper.
All right, you're going to love this next one. Hang on. In this, well, that's pretty hypocritical department. The City University of New York is paying New York Times columnist Paul Krugman a pretty generous amount to work on its new inequality initiative. Let that sink in for a second. Think about that. Krugman is receiving $225,000 for 2 semesters. He doesn't even have to teach. It is more than 4 times the median household income in New York City. Just let me pile on a little more. The adjunct professors get approximately $3,000. He's getting $250,000. The other professors top out at $116,000, taxpayer funded. How do you feel about that? And he's studying income inequality.
Well, I think it's great that Paul Krugman is not only in the 1%, he's in the 0.0001% now.
How many paychecks is he collecting at this point?
To study income inequality.
Amazing.
I mean, what do you think, James?
Clearly, teaching is rewarding in many ways.
But he's not teaching. I mean, that's what's so beautiful about it. In an email, he says, this was a letter that was put out by the City University. They released the email for whatever reason, saying, perhaps I'm being premature or forward, but I wanted you to have no doubt we can provide not just a platform for your public interventions and a stimulating economic community, but also a relatively comfortable perch, because he's not expected to teach or really do anything. Amazing. Those are our taxpayer dollars at work.
Is this a City University?
City University of New York. You will not be expected to teach or supervise students.
Amazing.
He's just getting
I would say if he wasn't such a limousine liberal, if he was like a real old-time hippie liberal like Bill de Blasio, you know, he should be.
Who lives in the mayor's mansion now, though, by the way, with a lot of servants.
You would think that he would give this money to charity.
You
right?
would think, let's challenge him to do that, or to the government. I mean, if he believes in paying higher taxes, he should walk that $225,000 right to the IRS. You do that, Paul.
Comrade Bill de Blasio would give this money back to the people.
Yes.
And let's see what Comrade Krugman's doing.
Okay, now we're going to stay right on top of that, because I'm sure that's exactly what's going to happen.
Yes.
Take the money and run.